All right. It is Sunday. It is the stream. I had my mic muted because it's been unmuting itself during the preview and putting me in the corner. Yeah. Apparently, I have talent with some technology and not others, and streaming technology is apparently not one of those that I have talent in. So yeah, there's that. And I just, do it every week. It's fine. You'd think I'd be good at all the tech part after 2 years or 3 years or whatever it's been. Probably 3 years. I don't even know when I started. But, anyways, this is the Sunday stream. It is Chrysalis Studios. Welcome. There's always a lot of things to look at behind me. We have the Nash dog hanging out in the studio today. So, yeah, should be fun. I went to the Horse Expo up in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada, which is supposed to be the biggest horse expo in Canada. And it did not disappoint. There was lots and lots of stuff to see, lots and lots of stuff to do. I only went up for one day. It's only about an hour away, so I popped up, did my thing, took a whole bunch of reference photos. I don't even know how many I took. I can check that. I'm curious now because I am known for taking 5 bajillion photos, and I don't have a super snazzy camera. It's a Nikon D5200, but it does take reasonably good photos. Not the best in super low light because I don't have a super low light lens, but let me see. 739, which actually isn't tons for me, but I got lots and lots of pony references. If it'll key in on that. This guy was keyed in on a cow, and it was actually really cool. But I have some video from my cell phone that I can show you guys and some other photos that I snapped quick because I haven't downloaded the actual stuff yet onto my computer because my computer has no memory left. It's been fun. I've been doing too many things, and the computer's like, too many things. Amy says, hi, Nash. Morning, Amy. Oh, he's sleeping. He's like, stop bugging me. We have Kimberly. Good morning. Hello. So yeah, we're gonna do a art hangout stream after at noon. So it gives everybody a little bit of a break to go grab food or do whatever you're doing, and for me to get my camera set up. And we're going to go through the bin of abandoned souls, which will be fun to do on stream, I think. So this is kind of not everybody that's been abandoned, but a fair amount of abandoned projects that just got tossed in a bin. And maybe today we'll pick something to resurrect that you guys are interested in. So I thought that would be kind of fun to do a little bit later. There's also some clay pieces on the shelf that's kind of up and that way, behind there. So I might bring some of those down because they're kind of fun to look at too. And we can see kind of what I have going on in the background that is taking up my own RAM and stuff in my brain. So let me show you a thing. What else? Before I get into the photos of that, I did announce that there's a Juggernaut contest that I'm doing. The one that I had up sold, so that one's gone. And because I'm not going to get to probably the customizing that I'd planned on, I reserve a couple copies of each casting or each sculpture so that I can mess with them later or do giveaways or donate or whatever the case may be. So I had one Juggernaut for sale. He's spoken for, so thank you very much. There's actually a lot of people that were interested, so that was kind of cool. And there's one that I'm giving away to club members because I did warn you guys that there was something coming, and I couldn't tell you what, but I knew you'd be excited, and I'm excited for you. So let me see if I can put that up on screen, and then you can see it. I'll explain it here since not everybody does the social media end of things quite as much or sees everything because algorithms. But there'll be a Juggernaut given away, full traditional guy, and it'll be to one club member. Every club member that was a previous club member from the Medallion Club before we did the new system will get 2 automatic entries, and every new person that for every month that they're in the club up until the end of July gives people opportunities to accrue a couple of entries, which is kind of fun. We'll also get another entry. So if you were a previous club member, that's 2, and then you're in the club for April, May, June, July, that's another 4. So you would end up with 6 total entries. if you were a previous club member. So that just gives you more chances to win, and gives my love and appreciation and thanks to everybody for being a member and hanging out and doing things. The club is open still for people to sign up. The deadline to get the Sea Dragon Unicorn sticker is the 30th. So you'll have to sign up before then to get that. I might have a couple of extras for sale after, but they'll be a little bit more expensive. So if you want that sticker, or you want to be entered in the contest, or you just want to join a club, you can do that. The medallion, to qualify for that, you do need to sign up this month for the April-May box. If you sign up next month, you only get the sticker for next month. You don't get the medallion that will be shipping next month because you won't have accrued 2 payments. So I know that gets a little complicated to do it every 2 months. That's how it had to kind of work. But if you have questions, let me know. And you can always add on an additional payment. And if you sign up next month and you do want the medallion instead of just the sticker, then you can fill up your medallion cup, as it were. I don't know. I need more coffee, apparently. I actually have a super coffee today, so that's the thing. So if I get a little extra crazy, you guys know why. Let me see. We have... Let's see. Amy is the hangout afterwards for members. This one's for members, so it'll be noon my time. I don't know why I'm looking at the calendar because that's not going to help my brain at all. And I might do another one on Wednesday evening. So that'll be the 30th. That'll be kind of the last hangout art thing for the month for members. And it will be in the evening sometime, probably 7 Mountain Time to 9 Mountain Time would be kind of the window that I have available. Then that gives everybody a weekday if you want to play. So you can hang out, do art, just hang out, chat, whatever you want to do. It's kind of fun. So I think I went over that stuff. What else did I need to mention to you guys? Bombuses are shipping. There are a few ones that were orphans. So through various means, their orders either were not completed or whatever. So I have a couple available. I will be posting them publicly very shortly. But let me show you something. Because I did something that was kind of fun. So this is the new website. It is all starting to get loaded in there. It is a little bit prettier, I think. So that's the sticker for the April month. If you want that one, then that was the one I was talking about. I update... Oh, I needed to change that one. I did change it on the club page, though. There's a little thing here that normally would load in the social media feed. I don't know why that's broken today, but it is. If you go here to more and then go to resins, this is something that I just added yesterday. So this is where I'm going to be loading in all of the different editions that I've done so that you can find more information. There's a gallery where you can see things there. The links will go to these pages. So it'll have the information for the story of the piece, more photos, that sort of thing. If you click, and I just loaded a couple into demo, but with Bombus, because I do have a couple of those available, I'll drop the link in the chat for you guys. As you can hear me clicky clicky. So this is actually really cool in the background programming end of things. I totally geeked out. So my hyperfixation for this week was maybe geeking out a little bit. I've been doing a lot of riding and focusing on trying to get turbo going a couple times a week. And then obviously getting the club stuff ready to go because that ships in a couple of days. The stickers are going to be here any day, probably Monday or Tuesday, which is very exciting. And I'm going to get all your envelopes ready. But I've been working on the programming end for these. So it has the name, has all the information for the edition. Each of these pages will be formatted the same. That was kind of the point for me to kind of keep it consistent. So you can click on these buttons to get you through to the bottom of the sheet to wherever you want, because it page is a little bit long with all the stories and all the information for the editions. If you want to go right to the line art, you can click that and it will zoom you right down to the bottom. You can either click on this and download the image there, or you can download the PDF there. That's a JPEG. This is a PDF. There's the gallery. I haven't loaded all of his photos in there yet from the old site because it didn't transfer everything over. But it's kind of pretty. Time payment information on the story of the piece. I'm going to try and include those with each of the pieces that I put up. Information about what swag comes with him, the pricing information, the dimensions of the pieces, and this will be consistent across the board for all the pieces that I put on the website, unless I make little formatting changes here and there, but I'm going to try and keep everything in the same area so that you can always find it really quickly, really easily. So hopefully that's a good upgrade for you guys. I worked very, very hard on it. But the order thing will go away once the orphans are sold. So there's paid in full options, and then there's time payments for the couple that I have. You can click there. It'll automatically disappear once they're all gone. So that's kind of a cool feature too. And I can do non-clickable buttons and all sorts of geeky things that I'm not going to get into because you're probably not interested. But I've been very excited. So it'll look kind of like this. I can go and show you what Juggernaut looks like too. Same kind of idea. So he formats the same way, the name, all of his information here. I don't have his dimensions, so it doesn't load that just yet. Pricing, all that stuff. But same kind of idea. It all will load in the same way. I am going to try over time to load line arts for as many of the new pieces as possible, and maybe try and go back and find some for the old ones, because I had Juggernaut and a couple of others. It's kind of fun. I don't know, coloring pages. I like it. So that's what I've been up to there. This was just the membership info page. So if you wanted to find out more info about the clubs, you can go here. I like little animations. Makes me happy. It tells you a little bit more about what each of those are, kind of when everything ships, benefits, all that stuff. So you guys know the drill. You've been here before, most likely. And if you're new, hi, welcome. So Katie says, hello. Hi, Katie. Hi, Jody. Good morning. Carol, good morning. Libby, good morning. Katie's like, Juggy. Yeah, so that'll make somebody really happy, and I really enjoy that. So got to do that every once in a while. So that's what I've been up to there. I did drop the link for the Bombuses in the chat, so if you did want one, the members of the clubs obviously got that link. Well, not that link to the website specifically because it wasn't up yet, but I did send the information to them last week because club members get early access to stuff that's available. Speaking of that, I do have a stack of this one. Stack of briars here and a whole bunch of other ones that I've taken photos of that I'm going to start to put online. I have one signed Fireheart, and I have a briar Justify that I found in my stash. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, that'll be coming probably this week. I'll have a little mini putting stuff up for sale. It's probably not going to be any like big official event. I'll just be posting stuff, and we'll kind of go from there. So hey, Katie says, Dash Boy. Amy says, I like hearing about the buttons. Don't get me started. Oh, Amy. So the buttons can be non-clickable and grayed out for things like coming soon, so that you guys know where the buttons will be. That's going to be an upgrade for the pages going forward, as long as the coding works, which it should. So like you'd see the Juggernaut, or well, we'll be re-releasing Juggernaut, but you'd see like Bombus, how he has the buttons there that you can click on. Juggernaut didn't, because he's not a currently available edition, so he doesn't have any inventory. And I'm skipping Wix and going with just PayPal, because Wix now wants everything in Canadian dollars, which is going to mean that the price for most of my customers, being American for the most part, is going to fluctuate a lot. And that's because our dollar and your dollar do this all the time. And that's a giant pain in the butt. So to keep it simple for the majority of you guys, I'm going to keep it just to PayPal. And then that makes it fairly simple. If you need to pay by something other than PayPal, I do have Square, so we can always do that. I think PayPal with the link here. Let me actually just show you that. The link that I put in there, it actually will go to... And this is cool because I've been doing the coding thing. I told you guys I'm learning Python, but I've done some CSS and some HTML and C, C++. So starting to kind of build out my knowledge base, which is kind of fun. But if you go here and say you wanted a paid in full guy, you click on it, it takes you to the PayPal page, which it's not actually going to do here. Let me fix this. Takes you to this page, so you can pay by PayPal, debit or credit. I think for some people it'll offer the option for PayPal or Apple Pay or Google Pay, GPay, however you say it. So the paid in full ones are the full price. The time payment ones are just the deposit, and then we alter it from there. So if you needed, if it was a Canadian order and you needed to include GST, or if it's an international order, that'll be invoiced separately for the paid in full. You know the drill. It's all kind of the same. So hopefully this works out for people. I'm going to try and figure out a way to do, I think you can do this and have a way to add it to cart. So if I do a sale with other items, you can add things to your cart instead of through Wix, because I know a lot of people had issues with the checkout with that. So I'm trying to go around a couple of issues here. So hopefully that works easier for people. Katie says jet black juggy with a white star on his head and a sock on his left leggy. Who does that remind me of? It's like the iconic, just big, broody, wonderful. Speaking of that, where did it go? I had a thing I was going to show you guys. Where did it go? Oh, hold on one sec. I think it's around the corner. I will get it and then we'll bring it back. Speaking of big, thick, and chunky, check this out. I bought a calendar from the Help Alberta Wildies Society, and these are our version of Mustangs, and they are much chunk. They are built to survive tough Canadian winters, and so I got to speak with a couple of the people there. Like, look at that! Look at that! There's no way there isn't like log hauling draft breeds in there somewhere. Amy says, hearing about that makes me want to get together a website, though. I love non-clickable buttons. So we can geek out together. I like this. This is another one. I think it's just going to make things a little bit easier. Look at the chunk. Mega chunk, exactly. So these are some of the more famous horses. They just rescued a baby called Bubbles that the mom rejected it. I don't know the story 100% because I wasn't following it. All I know is Bubbles is now safe. They are searching for a nurse mare for her. The first nurse mare didn't work out, didn't bond, and then they were having some trouble with getting their normal nurse mare to bag up. So they're trying a different one, and hopefully Bubbles gets a mama. But right now she's on bottles. They're so pretty. So one of these days I got to get out there and take some photos myself, and then I can show all that stuff off. But I'd like to, there's a big petition right now. So if you are in Alberta, Canada, you have to be an Albertan citizen. There's a petition on the Help Alberta Wildies Society page and website that you can sign because they want to basically, kind of like the BLM, give birth control to a whole bunch of the mares and basically decimate the Wildies population because they would rather have elk and deer and game for hunting that they usually Americans come down and hunt here, but bring down people to hunt for sport. And they don't want the grass being eaten by wild horses. So there's that. And then there's cattle ranchers that also want to use the land for grazing their cattle on because it is government-owned land. Same kind of fight that you guys get in the States for the BLM. So if you are Canadian, I highly suggest checking out their page. It is Help Alberta Wildies Society. If you're not Canadian or Albertan, you can also check out their page and just see gorgeous horses. Big chunk. But they do a lot of good stuff. Anytime that there's a baby in distress or a wildie in distress, they go and help it. Whether that's humanely putting them out of their misery because sometimes they're in really bad situations, and a lot of times they end up rescuing babies because they're either rejected by their mothers or a stallion tried to kill them because they weren't their band, or all the other non-glorious stuff that you see with horses kind of in the wild, because stallions aren't always nice. And I got a mouse pad. So that was kind of fun. This was the Horse Expo that I went to. Horse Expo Canada. It used to be called the Main Event. I did send out an email kind of that I was going to go. There's a move. It was really fun. Jill Baron was there, or Baron, I guess you pronounce it. My brain goes to the fancier pronunciation. And that was super awesome. So she was doing a Garocha. Let's see, where'd that go? A Garocha demo. So this was with a Canadian horse.
Okay, so now we're going to
So they were using the pole.
This feels a little bit more awkward, doesn't it?
And then rolling underneath it.
You like this
kind of a
one
demo
better?
on how to start off with it, which was kind of cool. And the Canadian horses were
She's
chonky.
got a death grip on the pole better.
Everything's
How's
chonky. I love
that
it.
go? Which is fine. I mean, it's all different for people. It's weird because you have to cross your body. Let's try. Play with it.
I think with this one, she was, I
Very
can't remember if she was spinning under it or if.
Woo! Okay, you guys are kind of pathetic. You're gonna clap. Let's clap. Good. Yeah,
It was a lot of fun. And she had a gorgeous horse there. So, the spin was kind of at the beginning. So she was just spinning underneath it there.
Yeah.
You can kind of see how she's coming out of it. I didn't get the actual spin on video, I don't think, but I took lots of photos of it. And Jill is fantastic. She was working with a baby. There's a trainer's challenge that they're doing. I posted a picture of that. Let's see.
Okay, so now we're going to the left. This feels
in here. Where was it? So this is the baby she was working with. I posted this picture. His name's Mace. He's an adorable little quarter horse, like well-built, lovely, just anyway. Getting him to yield to pressure here. So the lead rope is around his bum, tied to his halter, and this is him recognizing that he can turn away, which is a really hard thing for young horses to do, and move the human into their blind spot, basically, and trust you around their rear end while they're going the other way. And switching eyes is another big thing. So works on a whole bunch of different things. This baby had the best brain on him. It was wonderful. So the ropes around his hindquarters. He was originally facing with his head towards her. So his head was turned right. She brought the rope around him, and then now she's cueing with pressure, getting him to turn around. And replace that. Oh, I didn't get him turning, but I did get him standing. He turned all the way around to face her very gently and wonderful. So he was a very, very good looking boy. She had a saddle on him by the third session, and each session's 45 minutes. The babies had been handled, but not actually worked with for training purposes other than just halter breaking. Had him walking over tarps. I'm assuming today she's probably riding him, which is really cool. And she's the first one to use a horse with working with another horse. So she was mounted on a beautiful, beautiful black Lusitano gelding. And I can't remember what his name was. But anyways, she was working with him on that, which was very cool to see the interaction and how the horse changed the idea, because they never allowed mounted training sessions before like that, like another horse in the arena, which is very cool. Yeah, Brenda, that's the one that's in Red Deer. So if you get a chance to pop down there and check it out, Jill will be working with Mace for the whole time, and then probably doing demos. I know she has had a demo yesterday, and probably is doing some sort of demo today. So yeah, he was super pretty. What else do I got? There were tons and tons of ponies there. They had a Kiger breeder, so there were some really fun colors. I'll swap some of these images out, and then you can kind of see That was the Kiger. This one was really cool because look at his ears. He has the striping on his ears. So there's the striping on the tip and then a stripe kind of in the middle. Definitely very strong primitive markings. Very, very grumpy pony too, which was kind of funny. I'm going to replace that with a different picture. There was also a apricot dun Kiger horse. So this one was gorgeous. The color's kind of surreal when you see it in person versus just in photos and on models. Oh, Brandy of this flu. That sucks. Hopefully, since Jill is local, you might be able to go to one of the working equitation demos that she does, or maybe audit one of her things because she's around. She is on Albertan, which is very cool. Here's the face of that apricot done. And very, very cool. It had a very, very neat color to it. Pretty stripy pony ear. It looked like he was done with something. He was very not happy to be there, I think, because there was other studs and things in the area, and he was just, there was like breeding alley, they called it. So they had a whole bunch of studs in their areas, and he was not impressed by the closeness of other studs. Here's a picture of the legs, so you can kind of see the apricot coloration. There was barring. I don't know if I got very good pictures of that though, because it was hard and they were grumpy. But it's funny because people they're like, what are you taking so many pictures of? There was a Max Sabino gypsy there. So a blue eye, a little bit of coloration around the eye. You can see some of the Sabino ticking kind of under the fur there, hiding and kind of ghosty. It was very cool. Didn't want to play nice and lift its head either, but what are you gonna do? Then there's a baby. Baby was cute. This was just a quarter horse baby, but still very cute. There was, what do we get here? This is Jill doing more of the demonstration. So the pole's about, I think she said it was 12 to 13 feet, depending on what they're doing. It is shorter when they're doing working equitation. It is longer when they're actually working. You would use the pole to work cows. That's how it's traditionally used. And garocha means pole. So she's like, I've been called a pole dancer more than once. It's kind of funny. There were mules. So there was coon jumping. It's kind of a blurry coon jumping picture, but that was kind of fun. This thing had the ugliest head. It had a very, very not pretty head, but he was a very good boy. And this was the cutest thing ever. I need like 100 of them. There was a flower basket on either side of this donkey, and then she was paraded around. Her name was Rosie. It was lovely. She did her little girl proud. Very well behaved. They had this mule there too. So this is a mule called Jessica Rabbit. I can't remember if they said what she was mixed with. I believe she is a baby of Gilmore. Open Season Gilmore, which is another local, really big mule breeder. From Crosshairs, Open Season. I'm just pulling it up on Facebook here. He makes really, really nice mules, which is kind of cool. Where are they from? So if you want to follow a really cool page for really usually colorful mules, they've been doing, they have a lot of really loud Appaloosas. They have been doing stuff that isn't Appaloosa as well. So a lot of like dilute colors and things like that. They also do normal quarter horses, but they're kind of known a little bit for their leopard Appaloosas, kind of like West Elk Equine, I believe is the other big Appaloosa mule breeder in the US. So these ones are out of Wainwright, Alberta. So they're very local, which is very cool. They also had a whole bunch of stuff. But Jessica Rabbit was amazing. Do I have her? I don't think I have her video. She participates in the, let's see. There we go. She participates in the cowboy challenges, and she's going to be in the stampede. This is her. She's at the thing now. So that was Jill working with babies. So there was a whole bunch of different demos that they were doing. They had cutting demos, they had barrel racing, they had jumping, dressage, horsemanship. That's the gorgeous horse that Jill brought, the Lusitano. There's their Breeder's Alley. They have different speakers. The Trainer's Challenge, where they're working with different things. There's John Lyon's daughter there. That's Jessica Rabbit. She's awesome. Awesome mule. So apparently day 1, he was already standing on his colt, which is pretty wild. They drew numbers out of a hat and randomly got to pick which ones they were doing, but super, super cool. I'll definitely have to follow her account because that's really fun. But she was doing, oh, here we go. Sorry if that's really loud. Doing all sorts of jumping and things on Jessica Rabbit and zooming around. There's some stuff there. So just different demos and making sure that this is actually at the Stampede last year. Oh no, Aggie Days at the Stampede. So they're doing a cowboy race. This mule's crazy. So anyways, I'll stop talking about the mule. It's kind of fun. West Elk has beautiful mules. Yes, see? I got it right. My brain kind of works. And I haven't even opened my super coffee. But I'll need to follow her and try and attend more of the events. I was at a mule and donkey show in Alberta a couple years back, so I got some reference photos from that, and they were super cool. There's a little baby mule called Pinocchio that looked more like a hinny with the really tiny ears, but he was very cute. There's too many photos to show you guys all of the things that I did, but there was also a cutting cattle working demo that was going on, and I was lucky enough to be walking by and realize that there was a spot that I could get to where I was right on the fence, and these lines in the bottom of the photo here, you can kind of this way, you can kind of see here the lines that are running right across, or right where the horse's feet are. That's actually a mechanical cow flag. So I was able to get some really cool photos, lots of backups, which was very cool from all angles. And then as an artist, it is always good to get photos of crazy angles you don't normally get. So when they're cutting the cow and the cow is right along the fence here, you get some really neat photos. And I just randomly grabbed a couple things. This is actually cool because the horse's front end and back end are going totally different directions because it's not sure what the lady is asking for. The Appaloosa was really cool. Its hair was all braided. But I got some really neat photos of turnarounds. That was kind of like Bobby Joe. You get the splayed legs of like, oh, we're cutting the cow. But it was really weird to be in the position of the cow because that would be super intimidating if you were a cow and you had a horse coming at you. But you can see all the different muscles. Like these kind of photos are really, really hard to get because how do you get that angle unless you happen to be in the right place at the right time? Another one where he's putting his feet down to change direction. You can kind of see in the bottom right there, the little black thing on the line. That's the start of right. You can almost see the flag coming into the photo there, which is very cool. Here's the second later as he's pulling into his turn. He's racing off in this one, which is kind of cool. You can see all the muscles activating. This guy was the horse was a really good horse. He just kind of, it would be terrifying to be a cow and be sitting right here and have this horse like, whoop, woof, kicking dirt up at you. I'm like, I can't go anywhere. So that was really cool. And I did take a video of him cutting with no hands, which was kind of neat. It's just a very short little... You can see the flag was running right along the bottom there. You can't see it in the frame, but you can see the horse working on it. And it was really neat to see him key in. I'll play it again so you guys can see it. Key into the flag. Like the horse was very like, oh, that's my job, which is very cool. And then with no hands, Kind of neat. So yeah, when are you gonna get the opportunity to do something like that? I am very, very blessed that that happened to work out the way it did. So yeah, that was the majority of kind of what I got up to. They had vendor booths and things that were on sale. Oddly enough, biggest horse show or horse expo in all of Canada, and there were no Briars other than Jill's Casacco that she brought to Briarfest. She had one in the box to show that he was a Briar horse, and the Appaloosa booth had some old hobo appies just on their display. Nothing. There was no Briars for sale at all. It was weird. But anyway, I did have Nashi updates for you too, quickly, because I'm in photos. So we took him to the park and we got a little bit of snow, which is all gone now, which is crazy. But he was enjoying himself wandering through the bushes like a little wolf, which is fun. And then he decided that he wanted to fly. So he was having lots of fun just zipping around, getting the zoomies. And then this one's my favorite. Because in this particular park, this is the private dog park. So they have this big hill and they have hay bales all up the sides so that you can jump around, or straw bales, so that you can kind of climb the hill, and it prevents erosion a little bit too, but it also gives dogs things to sniff. And so this is a big hill. You can kind of see in the background his paw prints are really small back there. It's, I don't even know how many feet, 20 feet, maybe, something like that. It's at least 12 to 14 feet. It's huge, this hill. So he comes launching up the top and then just goes, whoop-ah! Because, you know, it's Nash. That's what Nash does. So that's been that. So yeah, the Horse Expo, super fun. I got to see a whole bunch of cool people and take a whole bunch of cool reference photos, which is always nice. My camera is happy and full. I love his zoomy jumpy ears too. Yeah, he's very much puppy, which is very cool. He is very enjoyable. And he's learning to be around Turbo when we're riding, but he's not sure how to deal with the fact that I'm giving Turbo attention and not him. He gets very upset that Turbo gets good boys and pets too, which is kind of funny. And then he's not 100% sure about the fact that we click, like I click to Turbo, right, to make him trot. And that's the same noise that we've been training Nash on for, like, pay attention and come. So it doesn't help that I'm riding around going to the horse, and then Nash is like, I can't come, I'm on a leash, because I tie him up at the front of the arena and he just hangs out. But he's getting better. It's kind of fun. I have not done more braids on the braided pony because I've been working on your Medallion Club medallion, which is very fun. The fantastical one of nostalgic joy that I have not spoiled 100%, but the peak still is up on the page. I won't be doing the full reveal on that until probably the end of May. I did warn you guys that I was peeking it a little bit early, but I've given enough clues, I think, now that you might understand what it is. And it is a full body fantastical thing. So if you want to check that out, it is just crystalstudios.com/peaks, or you can go in the menu and find it that way. Hopefully it is intuitive. If you guys run into any formatting issues or issues with the website at all, sometimes different mobile platforms can be dinks. So let me know, just shoot me an email, send me a screenshot, or if there's stuff that's not intuitive to navigate, let me know. I did more filming of some other stuff this week, and I need to do some editing to get some of that content up for you all. What else did I have to show you before we do stuff? I think that was the majority of the things. My brain's like, I have not gotten anything in my garden planted. I have the seed thingers ready to go, but nothing ready because I've been distracted by things. What else did I need to tell you guys? It's always so hard. I sometimes make notes, and I did not this time, and now I am lost. Yeah. What was I doing? Oh, I will have some painted things that will be available. So a bit of Abandoned Souls can hide for a minute. Oh, where'd he go? These guys. The Artist Proof Noki will be put up for sale at some point soon. He's all shiny and metallic, which is fun. We'll see what else I get done. I have a couple of medallions that are also artist proofs that are really close, and then the so Tender Moments is pretty close. The Moosey's pretty close. And then I did an Aussie with customization, so he has a bat wing because his name is Aussie. He needed a bat wing. And I'm going to play with some of the colors a little bit more, but he'll be available at some point soon. I did warn you guys as well that there's probably going to be painted things that show up for sale and customized things that show up for sale in the reasonably near future because I'm starting to get into more of that. Finally! And all the shipping on pretty much everything is caught up. If you are paying off your bombuses, so people that are buying the orphan bombuses, those are already cast and ready to ship. The orders coming in are usually shipping within 1 to 2 weeks, be that Bitty Biter or Noki Ruffles, any of the remaining taters or bombus. So we are on the ball. Knock on the woods. But yeah, that should give us some fun stuff to do, which will be kind of cool. I'm very excited to get back into like the painting and the customizing and all that stuff for you guys. And then obviously working on resins and things as well. The pony needs a little bit more work and then she can go in a mold. I did want to demo making that tail a little bit shorter that I mentioned last week. And then she'll be available and you'll love her name. I'm very excited to share more of her deets because the name has a whole history to it as well. So yeah, cute. Let me know what you think of the new changes to the website. You can go check out the Bombas page. I'll post it in the chat again. Take a peek at that. See if you like the formatting. Make sure, like, if it works on your phone or tablet or whatever you're looking at it on. It does work really well on desktop. So if you have the opportunity to take a peek at it on the desktop, that's what it was technically designed for. Gives me a little bit more room to work with. On my giant monitor, my monitor is like that. The one that I'm staring into right now to film. So yeah, that's the thing. It is a tablet for sculpting 3D. I wanted to be able to fit a whole traditional sized horse on it while I was sculpting in it digitally. So I can because it's huge. Check out the page, see what you like. If you are a member, more tutorial things are coming soon. And our Hangout stream is coming in about half an hour. So Katie says, should have my Ruffles, Noki, and Bitty Biter paid off for the first week of May. Perfect. That's totally fine. And then they'll ship out pretty quick. Unless there's a whole pile of people, in which case I'll let you guys know how that's working. Rayleigh says, yes, please. Hoping it's easier for me to navigate so I can finally buy. I got confused. Oh, yeah. Let me know if you're having problems or what you have questions on, because you guys letting me know what you're having challenges with helps me formulate things a little bit better. So really check out the Bombas page and let me know if that works for you and kind of makes sense. I tried to lay things out and I'm going to try and keep things the same for all the new pages going forward. So everything's consistent. So you know where to look for the buy buttons. You know where to look for the details on pricing or time payments. I'm going to be slowly adding to the site all of the previous editions. I will also be adding in there the like terms and conditions for how time payments work, things like that. So hopefully that makes it a little bit easier. If you have questions about anything, let me know. If you wanted to join up for the club, make sure to do that before the end of the month to qualify for that Juggernaut entry, as well as the April sticker and the April-May Medallion Club box if you're interested in that. Yeah, so, and I know tech isn't the thing for everybody. So my brain gets a little bit too into the programming flashiness of things. And sometimes I forget how other people's brains work. So just let me know. I'm here for you guys to ask questions to and interact with and help. And like, I don't want you to be struggling with the web pages or anything if I can avoid it. So sometimes it's a little more challenging. Got to make it work for everybody, but well, we'll see. But I can always do screenshots and show you kind of where to click or guide you through stuff too. So Sherry, hi. Sorry, I know this is an inconvenient time for people that are going to church sometimes, so I try and vary them every once in a while. But you're always welcome to go back, watch them in retrospect. They're all recorded and posted on YouTube and Facebook. I just went over all of the stuff that we were doing with the horse thing. I might have to sculpt the cutter because now I have awesome references and I can't not sculpt the cutter. And I've been wanting to sculpt the cutter because Turbo is Peppy Sand Badger, Okie type lines, and it would be fun to do something that's cutting raining. So yeah. Hi Tommy, how's it going? Really says, I love how you interact with us and it's humbling knowing we get direct answers from you. Yeah, I've tried to be as open and here as I can for a slightly introverted basement studio troll. So I'm going to try and set something up so maybe I can start accepting social media messages again. It just gets really challenging when there's bits of information all over the place, but I now have a way where I can conglomerate it all and make it a little bit easier to track and search if I need to. So you might be able to see that functionality come back. Until then, email is the best way to get a hold of me. And yeah, do that. So I'm going to let cutting mule would be awesome. I might have to sculpt Jessica Rabbit. So that's the thing. She's got a really refined, like Araby looking face. It's really interesting. She's a very like interesting looking mule. Did I put that up on the screen? Like you can see here, her profile's very like Araby. She's got a lot of dish to her face, which is very interesting to me. But a very elegant, refined mule and a very talented one at that. Sherry says, oh my God, something more exciting than Lowrider. I don't know what Lowrider is. I might be out of the loop on that, but I'll have to look it up. So yeah, if you want to go check back what we covered over the rest of the stream, I need to take off a little bit early because we are coming back for the members only art hangout thing that I'm going to do in a minute. How do I get rid of this? No, I'm not. My brain decided to die of techness. Too much coding. I will blame it on that. So I've been doing a lot of the coding for the back end of the website. This isn't me paying for somebody to do it. This is me learning how to do it myself. So please have patience if something's glitchy because I'm not paying someone thousands of dollars to do the website. I can't. So I got to do it myself. So yeah, kind of proud of what it's looking like. The member only hangout is still on Zoom this time. So I'll be sending the link out right away for everybody to get prepared. And I will be getting my stuff prepared. And then we're going to go through. So I don't take out ponies. The bin of abandoned souls. So you guys can maybe help me pick one to resurrect or see if anybody's worthy of resurrection. Or just see cool stuff that has been kicking around in my head for forever that got dumped for one reason or another, or, there's some really cool stuff in there actually. So anyway, I will be sending that information out to members right away. If you have any questions, let me know. I will try to be answering emails and stuff as much as I can, but I got to go set things up. So love you guys. I will see you next Sunday, probably same-ish time, 10:30-ish, since we did a later one for Easter. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting my art stuff. Thank you for giving me all your comments, hanging out, just being awesome. It's nice to be able to share a hobby with people that speak the same language and kind of get how my brain works and the horse obsession that doesn't feel like an obsession to me, but is definitely not normal. But it's all good. We enjoy it. It's what we love. All right. Love you guys.